I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I told him I'm a flick up. Feel I'm in the mood for a change up. I leave the city and return with my change up. They got amnesia, don't remember how they played us. They wanna knock me down, but somehow I just stay up. Look. Straight from the mud like Ruby. Straight to the stage, they love me. I understand they hungry, but please don't hate, that's ugly. I've been sliding, shaking, moving. I've been popping in my city. Shawty say she love the way we do it with me. I be too turned up to ever give a fuck. I ain't come to argue, let a nigga fuck. They been talking pennies, I need bigger bucks. About to catch a flight, I need to switch it up. Got that black boy joy, might do my dance on him. Take no disrespect, might put my hands on him. Hit this chicken, now she wanna marry me. But she gon' need some closure and some therapy. Came back to the city with my bank account on F. Giving rappers hell, I know they happy that I left. Hit the south in winter, I just put down my deposit. 82 degrees, I left that jacket in my closet. I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup.
Peace, family. How y'all doing today? Thank y'all for joining us for the first episode of Hold the Heat. I got my special guest with me, Hakeem Sims, owner of Extremely Lifted off of Hanging Moss. And today we'll be going over a bunch of things, man. How he built his business, how he continues to grow, and what he sees about Jackson that he feel like need to change. So, how you doing today, bro?
I'm blessed. I'm happy to be here. Like he said, I'm the owner of Extremely Lifted. I'm 25 at the time right now. I was 24. I kind of grew up in business, but I'm doing good.
Yeah, man, that's good,
yeah,
bro.
That's it right now.
Most definitely, man. So I would just want to kick it off, bro. I know you for a minute, man. You a great person, a great individual, man. You help out wherever you see fit, bro. You know what I'm saying? What just inspired you, you know what I'm saying, to build your business, to build your brand, to bring others along with you as you built it? Like, what made you really want to build up?
To build up my brand and bringing people along. I kind of always done this. I grew up in sports. I played soccer at a young age at CGSO, like right outside of Callaway.
Yeah.
And I just grew up like having teams. So like, even though I'm a loner on the most part of it, like growing up having teams, I kind of knew like you need people in different roles to support your weaknesses and just carry you along. So yeah, my business, I partnered with my god brother, Joe Two Federal, and somebody I grew up with who's actually my best friend's oldest brother is KP. So
shout out to
my unit is pretty close knit. I've known everybody over 20. I'm 25, so I've known everybody 25 years. I'm finna turn 26. So yeah, that's how we started it. It was from an idea. I seen just some young guys in Houston having a smoke shop, and I just was like, all right, it's capable. For a long time, I wanted a dispensary, and I thought this would be a good segue into the industry, just because, you know, this is kind of something I've been into it since I was like 13, 14. I know sometimes smoking has helped me with my anxiety and just certain things that I deal with. I just thought this could be something that could be brought to Jackson in a different way, because I don't actually smoke tobacco, but I do have a smoke shop. I use papers a lot, so I couldn't find papers when I moved back from Houston, so that's kind of the real reason why I started the smoke shop.
I feel it. Yeah, man. And that's coming back and tying into that, like, we need resources like that. Like you said, you didn't have things that you felt like were healthy and able for you to maintain, or able for you to really build, you know what I'm saying, in the city. So it's really great to see somebody building their vision because of stuff that we lack. And I think about that a lot, man. I think about the fact that it's a lot of stuff in the city, bro, that if we had access to, if we were able to really maneuver and really had it on a daily basis, our city would be the hottest city in the South. You know what I'm saying? Really in the world. And I really feel that. You know what I'm saying? I really believe it. So it's just real positive, real inspiring to see somebody with that, man. So my next question to you would be, though, what do you feel like, what resources do you feel like we missing as a city? You know what I'm saying? Because I got some on top of my head, but I want to hear from you.
As a city, I think Jackson, in the most lacking sense, is lacking certain mindsets for growth. I think this city has been disenfranchised for so long that people have kind of set themselves back in the mindset that they view things. Jackson is not from a lack of talent or smart or intelligence, to be honest, because I know a lot of smart and intelligent people from Jackson that live in Jackson, that are from Jackson, that have left Jackson and gone to do great things. I just think the mindset right now is holding us back. So many young kids are just being led astray. I don't think the leaders of Jackson are necessarily leaders, especially leaders that we need. And just that segue and that bridge, sometimes I think the older generation of the people in Jackson kind of failed, and now they're looking for help because they don't really know how to address the problems that they were faced with. Right. I think right now this is a time of change, just overall, like with the pandemic and everything that we went through. I just think right now is a shift and a change. Like the younger generation is coming to their own. Like I'm 25, 26, so you start moving into those higher realms, and like you almost into your cycle until you turn 33. And I know you start reaching that age of enlightenment around this time. So I think my generation is starting to take more leadership roles, and you start to see the change with the shift of the older generations phasing out and we carrying those problems. Right. That's really where I think is going to end up. The change is going to be, because I don't think it's going to be in the older generation right now.
Yeah, and I think that's just a law of nature, man. If you notice, any revolution or any social change has always been done by the young. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the best thing for the older generation to do, and I can't speak for the whole older generation because I'm not old, you feel me? But just as a young man and as young people, we feel like the bridge, the disconnect shouldn't be so heavy. It shouldn't be blamed that the youth don't want to listen to the elders, because that's not the case. We try to come to our elders and our older people in the community a lot of the times, you know what I'm saying, and the energy is different. So I feel like as a resource, we need that. We need our knowledge. We need our history, because without it, we doomed to repeat it. And that's an old African proverb, you know what I'm saying?
Can I say something? I also think in terms of teaching, I think the older generation, I don't know, they can't really teach us what we need right now, because I think we are in the third or fourth generation away from like slavery and disenfranchisement. Like I think we're still dealing with those challenges. I think sometimes our older generation has dealt with it so long and they were so deep in it. I think the younger generation, we actually have more opportunities and we're more equipped to deal with the technology of our time. We have more outlets that the older generation didn't necessarily have, because they have like the straightforward paths and, you know, Jim Crow, and, you know, we in Mississippi, so it's certain things that they aren't equipped to do, and that's how I think they sometimes think the younger generation scares them and doesn't listen, because we now are starting to see like the paths they were on. Sometimes they don't really lead to our fulfillment. Right. We see just, you know, we just see the people that tell us that you should go to school, you should get a job, and everything will be fine. And sometimes we see that lifestyle is not something we necessarily want in that sense. So that's where I think sometimes the disconnect from the older generation, not necessarily knowing how to teach us certain things. Like credit and finance, I think the older generation really should have took a leadway on. And I think the technology and the new social waves of, I think we could have taught the older generation something better. It's just the willingness to listen from both sides has to be added.
Exactly. And that was what I was going to say, man. I don't feel like it's necessarily nothing we can't learn from our older generations, but it is a lot of stuff that they wouldn't be able to teach us because we know it better than them. And it's not, and that's not knocking anybody's knowledge. That's just a fact. Like, I helped my grandmother today with something on her computer. You know what I'm saying? It's certain aspects are just suited for certain people. And if we learned that as an entire community, whether it be old or young, then I feel like a lot of stuff would get changed, man, a lot. And it just bothers me sometimes, bro. Like, it really does, because I sit and it's some of this stuff is just so fixable if we just sat down and talked. if we just put our egos aside, everybody put their egos aside and really sat and talked to each other, really listened, really made sure that we were being empathetic with each other. Just with some of these situations that we've seen, like you said, with our leadership, a lot of these things could be fixed with simple talks, you know what I'm saying? But people's egos get in the way, and it becomes argumentative. It becomes a detriment to us, you know what I'm saying? And I was just having a conversation outside that the leadership is what is most important. If we have leaders that have been in office 30 years and nothing has really changed for us, it means something needs to change.
We need new leaders.
We need new leaders.
We need new leaders.
You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing against them, once again, but it is against them because they haven't done anything that really has changed the outlook of our city or changed the trajectory of our city. You know what I'm saying? I really fall behind it. What do you feel like? What do you feel like our leaders should look like? What do you feel like our leaders should be? Should they be older? Should they be younger? Should they be what?
I think they should be open. I think our leaders right now, it's my way or the highway. Like even with our leadership, we saw recently with our leaders fighting, like publicly. Like when you started to see our leaders fighting publicly, and you start to see our young kids fighting out in the street, there's a common denominator. We don't know how to comprehend and talk and work and cooperate in order to me to go. That's why I'm always with team, but even with me being team, it's certain things that I don't really tolerate. Right. Just like if we can't come to a discussion and be heard and comprehend each other, we really can't be a team because we not going to be on the same page. You're going to do your thing, I'm going to do my thing, and it's going to be a struggle. So once we get enough people on the same page, I think that will create its own wave. I don't think it's just one page, though. I think even in school it taught us this. You know how it was different cliques and stuff. I think people need to go to their tribe. I think everybody needs to go to their tribe and respect the differences of other tribes. Like,
and I agree with that a lot because in today's day and age, it's something about people not wanting to acknowledge diversity and not acknowledge that things between people are different. That doesn't mean it's bad, but things are different. And I'm not saying this in like a prejudiced way or anything, but certain people just click with each other better. Certain things are a part of different cultures. Certain people act a certain way.
It's like oil and water.
Yeah,
it's like oil and water.
Just don't mix. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing against that, but it's also to the point of at a certain point, what do we do what's best for us? When do we start figuring out what's the best pathway for just water? You know what I'm saying? Or just oil? And it's not to say that those can't mix, but it's very difficult too. I think the biggest thing would be though is finding out what processes we can do to make that happen. Because at the end of the day, like we've been saying, even though we need to click, we have our clicks and we have these, humans only progress through cooperation. So like thinking about those ways and thinking about how we can unify as a community, I think is really important, especially with our generation. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel we can do that? What do you think are the first steps? I think that's a big question. But
the first step to that process?
Yeah.
The first step is acknowledgement, and then the second step is just like healing. Like as Black people, we've gone through so much trauma, like even on a daily basis, like we deal with so much things that we end up carrying on to the next person, like that emotional baggage, the generational baggage that every Black person in this world, like every Black person in this state, that they feel some type of pressure, they feel some type of emotional trauma that they carry. And I just think specifically as Black people, we've endured a lot, and we've handed down a lot of pain and damage. And I think sometimes, like, in order for us to reconnect, we have to go be alone and heal. Like, until you know yourself, you can't really work with people.
Right.
Until you heal yourself, you can't really hurt with people. I mean, you can, but it's also going to be some point of struggle. You're going to hit a point to where it's like, we can't really get it because we reached this past. Right. And once you heal, you start learning how to reach this past with other people because you know yourself a little bit better. I think when I got to learning myself a little bit better and loving myself a little bit better, I got more empowered in business. I got more empowered in the things I wanted to do and being able to work with people because took the time to know myself a little bit better. I just think healing is a big part of that. I think acknowledging pain. Like, people like to act like they're not hurt, but we're human. No matter what and how hard we are, we still feel pain, and our brain processes pain in the same way that it processes anything.
Right.
It's literally our computer, and I think we deal with a lot of emotional pain, which we don't really take care of, and that leads into negative things in our life.
Most definitely, and that's real, man. Speaking on that point of generational trauma, bro, a lot of stuff is passed down, and we tough it out, like you said. We're taught to be strong as a people. Our people are always looked at as like, we have to be strong because we have to move a certain way, we have to act a certain way, or we're judged, or we're mislabeled, or we're this and we're that. I think that goes back to tying back into what resources we need. I think, like you said, the first step is acknowledgement, but also giving people a chance to really have a person to go to, have a resource to really start healing. Because it's one thing dealing with trauma on your own, but it's a whole nother thing being able to talk to somebody.
Yeah, you gotta have that support.
You gotta have a support system. You have to have it. Like I said earlier, humans are social creatures, man. It's a lot of stuff that go on in our city that people don't talk about. It's a lot of stuff in our city that needs to be brought to light because people have to have their time to heal. Nothing in the dark can grow. You know what I'm saying? So I believe in it heavily, man.
Exactly. That's why nothing in the dark will grow. It turns into the fact that sometimes you might have to cut somebody out your life in order to get that darkness away from you. Like, sometimes the darkness isn't necessarily your own. And I think even with going to your own tribe, that even comes to the fact that, like, people that are beneficial to you. And I don't mean like beneficial to you like in a monetary sense. I just mean like you as a person. Right. Like, will you become better by being around this person? Will you challenge yourself? Will you grow and evolve? Because that's literally a law of nature for us to grow and evolve. If you are stagnant or still, it's no way you will get a different result. I think that's the definition of insanity.
Exactly.
So if you are around people that will challenge you, or you around people that will have you doing things that you want to do, sooner or later your goals are going to get accomplished just by the alignment.
Right.
You just have to align yourself with the right people, the right thoughts, the right whatever you need to do, whatever you want to do. It's just an alignment thing. You have to align your thoughts and habits with it.
Mm-hmm. And they come back to knowing yourself. You have to know yourself to even know what you need to be in line with. So, like he said, like Brother Sims just said, having a chance to really know who you surround yourself with is important. Really knowing the people that you're on move with day to day is important, because if you're trying to do like him and build a business, if you're trying to really have something started for yourself, you can't be surrounded by certain things that you know are detrimental to that. So really, I really want to push the message of focusing on yourself, realizing what mentality you have, realize what path you feel like you need to go down, and then putting your all into it. That's really one of the things as a community we need to really learn. Like, I really feel like having that drive and giving our youth a chance to figure out who they are before making them fully adults, that's a big thing we need to learn as a community. Because everybody know, as a community, it's not every situation, but as a black community, once you hit 18, in the eyes of the people, you are an adult, and yeah, legally, but that means the support system leave too. Like, if you notice in different cultures, they don't leave the house till they 25, 26. You know what I'm saying? Till they're ready to go. You know what I'm saying?
That's also, I think, because when I came back, I moved in with my mom. I just think certain times, it's also got to be like the resources there. I mean, like, even when if people, everybody's on the same house and this income, I think it gets strained because you don't have as much. Right. So it has to be like a comfortable thing. Like, I moved back with my mom, and I really wasn't there, but I slept there. And it's just the fact that I have an older parent. Like, my mom's she about to retire. So my mom not really tripping. Right. So if people have the parents are just a certain age, and like they have this certain income, and their income doesn't grow, but inflation is happening, I think it's going to be a lot of stress in the house. I think another way that people are allowed to stay home till they're 25 is because of their income. Like, I think our income and the resources have to be there in order to stay together, because it's not going to be any harmony. I think money has a large effect on our flow and harmony as a black people. I think is once we understand how to use money better, we can allow our kids to stay to 25 because it's benefited me well because I moved out a few times, but I was able to come back. Like, and I think that just gave me the room. Like, I stayed with my parents. I'm finna move again, but I stayed there like a year and a half, 2 years to just be like. It gave me time, so it's just not a bill on my thing now. I'm able to do that, but even then, like, it's just carrying on something to the next level. You just sometimes you have to downgrade. I downgraded. I had my own place. I was in Houston. I came back here. Like you just gotta know the timing of it and just know how to run it.
Yeah. And I feel that, man. And to my point earlier, I'm not saying necessarily, like I said, that it's every black community, black household in every community of America. But like you were saying, this is a capitalistic society. And not having the right economics, not having the right knowledge of financial literacy, is a real detriment to our community. And if we build that as a community, then we can start to see more situations where people are allowed to build and grow. You know what I'm saying? I think we need that. Like, financial literacy is going to be the most important
That's the freedom.
thing. That's the freedom.
That's the freedom.
There. Real talk. That's the freedom.
Because we ain't in change no more, but we on bills. So it's a change. Like, I got to go to work to pay this bill. I got to, like, the only way they showed us to make money was really get a job. There's a lot more ways to make money, especially for younger folks. That's why I think it's a huge disconnect with the older generation. Yeah,
and we're going to speak on that once we come back from this commercial break, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in for the first half. We'll see y'all in a minute, and thank you, man.
SGECOVIDsolutions.com is paving the way forward for a safer city government delivering cutting-edge biosecurity and biosafety protocols developed internationally by top virologists and scientists using an all-natural cleaning solution, killing COVID-19 on contact like no other product on the international market. For more information, please call 1-800-281-9080 or visit us online at SGECOVIDsolutions.com. Let SGECOVIDsolutions.com provide innovative rapid facilities testing and world-class state-of-the-art biorisk safety protocols for all of your coronavirus needs. Call 1-800-281-9080 or visit us online at sgecovidsolutions.com.
Hi, I'm Q Talicia Garrett. I am here to introduce our New South Development and Training Outreach Hour every Tuesday at 2 p.m., giving you information on how to become a part of the programs through USDA and Farm Service Agency. We can be reached at 678-779-9468. We can also be found online at newsouthoutreach.com.
Having the community, having a community basis, a family oriented situation at home can play a big part to our community and could play a big part for our youth. So what I'm trying to figure out and what I feel like a lot of people do want to know is, what were your first steps as far as building your business, getting it together? I know you said that you collaborated with some childhood friends, but like, what was the first steps as far as you going into your business and trying to get it together?
In terms of what part?
Its term is like the legal work, the financial work. Like, what did you have to do? Who did you have to look for?
Like the actual. In terms of like building the like like the business structure and stuff.
Yeah, the business structure.
I'm from a family of like entrepreneurs, so I do a lot of the back end work for my sister. So I kind of knew exactly like what I needed to do to get my tax numbers, my EIN, my LLC. I knew exactly how to do. I actually was doing it like on the side, just like setting people LLCs up. Like, it really don't take that long. I think just having that power, and I was a little fearless. I kind of jumped in a little. I kind of wish I did ask for advice, but nah. But I kind of just jumped in on it. I just attacked the stuff that I knew. I knew how to do the LLC. I knew how to do the EIN. It's really just going on the website, to be honest, like, and just researching, like asking the right questions. So I really was just Googling and watching stuff on YouTube, and I did that. I just did it. Like, in terms of business plan, I probably wrote a business. I didn't even write a business plan. I got a business plan off Fiverr. I had paid for that. I got a business plan off Fiverr.
Yeah.
Cause like even in school, like I never was a lesson plan baby. You feel me? So even in school, I would get in trouble for not being on task.
Yeah.
So while working with my sister and working with my mom, I was actually doing the EIN and the LLC like for extremely lifted. It was it took me about a week to do. I got all that done, and then I just went looking for locations. I know I wanted to be in Jackson, because I felt there was a need there, because I just thought this is something essential. Because like if you smoke, you know you're gonna need something to smoke with. Right. So I was like, this is essential business. And all through the pandemic, they were telling you essential business. So I was like, all right, let me figure out something to make me money, because I already started New Future, but where I was, New Future Clothing, like
clothing, shout out to them.
I started New Future Clothing in 2019. I was not dead broke, but I was working at CarMax, and then I was just going through so much stuff that I had to put it on the back burner just to take care of myself. Right. And I'm just now starting to release stuff, and I think Extremely Lifted was kind of gonna be like a reliever for that, because I still want to do New Future, but Extremely Lifted was gonna be like my passion job, like my passion business, because I like apparel, but it's not my first passion. Like I kind of like what I do with the smoke shop more, because it combined, like I was in sales for a long time, so it combined sales and just like the smoking aspect of it, just to help people just like enhance your lift off or whatever. Like I just wanted to be on that side of the thing, and I found the vendors. I found everybody. I like to go mainly to the manufacturers and stuff, just to get a good price. Sure. I looked around the market. The market was severely overcharging, but and I saw nobody black in it. The only person that I know that is black in the tobacco niche, I don't even know how to pronounce it. The tobacco niche industry, it's basically somebody downtown drugstore. They in the mall and stuff. That's the only other person I know around Jackson area that is black that does this. Everybody else is Indian or white, and they're like older. Right. Like I'm the youngest one, so even when I try to go to the other shops and stuff and partner, like because I wanted to do a festival this summer. Like even when I go there, I just see just the difference of like who we are. So I just want to stand strong in this industry, because the war on drugs kind of did hurt us, and I see so many black people like smoking, like they're the main consumer. Right. Like black people smoke a lot of the most dangerous like products you can buy on the smoking side of things, like, and they even had a warnings, but nobody really cares. So it's nothing. It just, that's what you have to do. You have to find a niche. You got to find a target market, and I think with the clothing side, and I was online, so I had figured out like, all right, you need to attack your niches, you need to attack your niches, you need to attack your niches. So I take my niche, and I was like, all right, I be smoking. So we gonna do a smoke shop, and then it just kind of went along with my personal brand. So I think that's why this business has really took off a lot faster than my other business. Even New Future, it was fine, but like I think this one like hit the ground running because it's more naturally me. Right.
Yeah. And it's something you can relate to. And I feel like that's a big point as far as when you're building your business and when you're trying to establish something. You really want to find something that you love to do. Like you hear it all the time, like follow your passion, follow your dream, follow this. But that's something. The reason it's said so many times is because you don't want to be starting something that you have to own that you don't love to do.
Man, this is hard. This is hard.
And it's hard because it's hard work. And hard. People have this idea that like once you start a business, it's cruise sailing. I'm finna go cruise. I'm finna just pass my work off to somebody. Like, nah, it's years of dedication.
It's so many like deadlines and so many like things you have to deal with. Like because you're a business now, your expenses are normal. They're bigger than normal expenses. Right. Like it's like, all right, your rent's this, your insurance this, your inventory is this. You gotta pay for this to keep things going. You gotta pay for this subscription, this service, just to make sure your customers are straight. And then like, being in the industry I'm in, we're a restricted industry, so certain things aren't allowed. Right. Like I can't just like market. Right. Like other people, like I can't use like Facebook ads. I can't use so word of mouth and local, just like local SEO, just like Google, using Google. Like you have to find ways that works for your industry and ways that work for your position in business. Like if you be aggressive, you literally can do whatever you need to do, but you have to put the effort in. Like I got a deadline on May 15th. Yeah, and I was trying to throw an event, and they added a new. I basically got a new challenge this month. I got a new challenge this month, and I was trying to do like so the 15th is a Sunday.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be the anniversary of Extremely Lifted. I was probably gonna do like a food truck, just something outside because it's getting hot. It's 90 degrees today.
Yeah.
Like so.
Y'all be safe
So,
out there. Hot.
So we just trying to do something just to commemorate that. And that's just that. You just gotta keep rolling and make sure you have something that you love, because it will be challenges. It will be challenges that will challenge you personally, and no matter what business you start, they will challenge your habits. So whatever, even if you're successful, your personal habits can derail your success.
And I was gonna actually ask you a question about that, because I know self-discipline. I know being able to not only be self-disciplined but also tune out other opinions is really important. You know what I'm saying? Because if you building your own, not everybody gonna see the vision like you see it. You know what I'm saying? And it's easy to doubt something when you don't know the final product. It's easy to doubt yourself when you don't know if you know the final product. So how did you deal with that mental, not only the mental toughness of it, but just being able to continue through that and be successful?
Aim high. Like really, honestly, I aimed high and I just kept working. It was sometimes that it got to me. Like even I had a panic attack on my floor one time. Like you see my store like progress. So like I remember one time I just came in and like I literally had to take my shirt off to calm down. Like I got tile floors, so I was on the floor like flat down, like just having that panic attack. And then the lady from the restaurant next door, she just came in. She was like, "Are you okay? Like, are you fine?" And I was just dealing with it, cause I'm doing this like probably like a year and a half away from a suicide attempt. Like in 2019, I did my suicide attempt. So in 2021, I started a business. Like, and I just wanted to do it. I almost didn't have the money. I thought I had the money when I started, but certain situations and I had money stolen. I had money taken out of my account. Like I had family steal money from me. So it's just so many challenges that I faced. I don't know. You just gotta bite it and run and just keep pushing it, cause and stay focused. Like I say affirmations every day. I know if I put the work in, I can get it done. And whatever I can't get done, I'm just gonna have to live with the results. And let that experience carry me to the next one. Cause I don't know. You gotta take it one day at a time, and that's just how I took it. I knew compound interest is positive and negative. So if you keep doing positive action, sooner or later you'll see the results. Matter of fact, I think it was like after my grand opening, I think I went like 2 weeks without sale. So that was hard, but I was like, all right, just keep going. Because now I see my daily averages going up, my weekly averages going up, and it's just the fact that you keep going. You gotta just like go hustle, like find a way in, and make noise. And that's all you gotta do. If you're making noise, people will see it. They'll see the work you do. The work speaks for itself. Like I just now got a cameraman like probably a week or two ago. Like, and I was just recording like bits and pieces of it over the year. But if you stay aggressive on it and just do what you can do, you do the work, people gonna see, the people around, they talk. Like word of mouth is powerful, and if you doing like the actual actions and people are seeing the results, that makes people pay attention. That makes people tune in, because everybody is talking about what they're gonna do, they're gonna do this. But when a year goes by, what's done? If it's really not nothing done, it's not really much to pay attention to. And we always say all the time, people fall off. And the reason why people fall off is because they get comfortable. And they get comfortable with what they have, and what they have is not, it's not going to last, because the only thing permanent is change. So you have to just stay aggressive on it and just keep going.
And I did want to say that, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I do want to say that also people get contentment and comfortable mixed up. Those, even though they sound similar, those are two different words. Contentment, you can be content and still be hungry.
That's being at peace.
Yeah, that's being at peace with it. You know what I'm saying? Comfortable is, I feel like humans, like I keep coming back to us evolving, you know what I'm saying? We only evolve under stress. Nothing evolves comfortable. So you can't build anything, you can't grow without a little bit of rain, without a little bit of hardship. And it's important, especially like we said, we are strong as a people, but it's important to know that you don't have to deal with everything alone, and that you have to rest your mind. So even though you want to work, I'm talking about work as hard as you can. If you're going to work for 3 hours, take you an hour nap. You know what I'm saying? You got to get your rest. You got to get your time of peace. You know what I'm saying? But I really appreciate that. Like, I really appreciate having that insight just personally, because, you know, I'm trying to start stuff. I'm trying to get things cracking. You know what I'm saying? And having an outlet like you said, surrounding yourself with things that are the best for you is something important that we need to start building as a community for other people, because it's easy for you to get, you know, find the connections for sometimes, not you personally, but I mean you as an individual. Like, you can make a 1 or 2 connections, but if you connect with them 2 people and they connect with 2 people and they connect with 2 people,
it's a network.
It's a network. You know what I'm saying? So like, building your network, figuring out that, you know, you can do stuff alone, but you still want to build with others. That's very important. I kind of wanted to speak on the fact earlier, like, going through hardship, man. Like, I know right now our city is going through hardship, like with the events that just happened at the carnival and just what we go through on a daily basis, being from Jackson and seeing all the stuff that goes on in Jackson. What do you feel like we can do as a community to nothing changes in a day, right? Nothing changes in a day. But what are the first steps? Like, I feel like acknowledging is the first step, of course, but then what do we start to do to actually, because we know it's a problem. Everybody knows it's a problem. What steps do we start doing towards action? You know what I'm saying? And I ask that to every person I talk to, you know what I'm saying? Because what do we do?
You do what you can. I think it took us too long to get into this problem for it to be like a 1 year, 2 year, 5 year fix. Right. I've been living in Jackson most of my life, and you start to see a reoccurring thing, like how they do the schools, how they do our streets, when you start to tell people for so long that you don't deserve the best, sooner or later you start to deal with the ramifications of that. Mm-hmm. I just think it's an each and every one thing. Mm-hmm. I think you really might not change the wave, but you have to change your wave. You have to change. You be the change in yourself, and then sooner or later people around you will see, and you will inspire them to make the change, right. Or changes. Because it's not just a one change thing. I think Jackson is it has tons of work to do, and I just think just doing the work and the results will come. I think everybody is searching for the instantaneous result, and I don't think that's really going to be the thing. I think when you start focusing on the factors that led to this outcome, because even at the fair, these kids are 15, 16.
Exactly.
Like, at 15, 16, I was dodging bullets at Callaway Merle game. Like it's been going on. Yeah. So it's like, when it's a repeated occurrence, like like the war on drugs, like police, like everybody's going to jail, everybody dying at an early age. You losing your leadership, you losing your years of experience, you losing all these things, and the next generation suffers. So when I just think it has to be everybody making better decisions, make better long-term decisions, reaching back and helping the younger youth. Because they're very impressionable. I mean, everybody got a phone in their hand, but until you start looking at something different on your own or on your phone, your algorithm will show you exactly what you've been looking at.
Exactly.
It's literally an algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
And algorithm is just another word for hypnotic rhythm. Mm-hmm. So if you, like, my timeline look different from everybody else's timeline. It's mostly, like, motivational stuff. Because, like, when I was checking on myself, I was really just, even when I came back to social media, I filtered out like what I was following. I blocked the shade room. So people can't even send me this stuff. Right. Like, people don't understand it's those small things. Like, why really should I care about rapper's baby mama? Yeah. Like, I don't care.
And people got this thing where it's like they highlight that because they have this idea of success that they see from those people, so they feel like they should really care. But this is the thing that get me tripped up. It's just the fact that we have access to the most powerful device known to man in our hand. All the knowledge you really could ever want. Is how do we show ourselves to really search for that knowledge? Like, they've brainwashed us so much as a community that people aren't accepting of the knowledge even when they see it. So it's like, education the first step.
They don't see the value of it.
Exactly. So how do we show that value? Because it's like, this is knowledge that we need to know as a people. This is knowledge that we need to know to function as a society, because it's the world against us. I think black people.
I think it's what's promoted and what's presented. Because I think if you paying attention to these things, you're gonna keep getting these same results. It's because it's really what you pay attention to. Like, I follow a lot of black investors, a lot of black people on Wall Street, Wall Street Trapper. Like, it's just so many people. Chris Johnson. Like, it's so many people that are doing stuff in the financial realm as black people. I think if you want to look up to somebody, I think these are some of the people to look up to, because these people sitting at their house making a lot of money, and it's just not that hard until you change your mindset. When you change your mindset, it becomes a lot easier. And you got to want to change your mindset. 'Cause like I said, like, I literally was Googling like everything I did. I did not have any prior experience in the tobacco industry. I did not have any prior experience in anything. I literally was Googling everything I needed. I was Googling along the way. I did not have it figured out. I didn't have anything ready besides me and something I wanted to do. And I was just thinking, I was like, all right, shoot, we finna be legal in Mississippi. Hey, let's get going. Let's get going. So I knew if I was pushing, sooner or later the law was gonna pass, because I saw we passed that 72%. Right. And we passed that 72%. It's a lot of people smoking. Yeah. So you gotta set your groundwork, and you gotta set your aim. If you saying your aim and you attacking at it, sooner or later you're gonna get a result. But you shouldn't be expecting the result in the first year. Not even the first year, because if you're really doing the work, you're gonna get results. Yeah. So if you you should stop expecting the instantaneous result, because nothing good comes quickly. I'm not like the stuff that lasts long. It takes a second to get.
Patience is a virtue.
It takes a second to get. So just focus on just what you can focus on. That's all it is.
Focus on what you can focus on. Yeah, that's very important. I feel like, going back to that point with social media, we don't have the chance to focus on us. If you really on social media, if you're a person that's really in social media all day, like scrolling, you see so much stuff that distracts you from the world, from your local setting. Like, I know plenty of people that can't tell us 3 city councilmen's name, but they know what's going on the shade room, like you said. Like, it's stuff that's more important than what they're showing. And not to say that we're not supposed to be entertained, because I'm not finna be like Jaden Smith and be like,
how long are we supposed to be entertained? Like, that's enough entertaining. That's cool, but you drifting.
Yeah,
you drifting.
Focus, like you said.
You drifting from the main thing. Just keep the main thing, and you can grow from it.
Right.
A seed don't do nothing but focus on growing. That's all.
That's fake. Hey, we're going to come back to this, y'all. We're going to have a couple more sponsors come to us. Shout out to them. But we'll be back with y'all in a couple seconds.
Do you have something to say? Do you want your voice heard? Join the WeBelieve.global lineup. Be the star of your own show. For more info, call 800-492-5186, option number 1, or visit online at WeBelieve.global.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. Just a quick shout out to We Believe Broadcasting Media Team. Please check them out to watch the rest of this once we get done streaming. But yeah, man, back to the point at hand, bro. We were talking about just as a community, what are some things that we need to learn, or what are some things that we really need to focus on, just to build. And I feel like to your point, that having a focus, instead of being distracted by entertainment all the time, you know what I'm saying? It's like you said, it's all fun and cool to have entertainment, but you still we have to focus on a goal. We have to really come together and figure out what narrative we trying to push as a community, what things we want done. Because if we don't demand these times for ourselves, then somebody else is gonna demand it and take what they feel like we want instead of what we want. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's really mad important that we come together as a community, man. Like I'm gonna re-emphasize that every time, because it's something that we can't get nothing accomplished as an individual. It's something you can only get so much accomplished as an individual. I'm not gonna say nothing. So yeah, man, how do you feel like we can collaborate? How do you feel like we should bridge that gap between the old and the young? Because I think that's the biggest gap in our community that's really holding us back. Not listening to each other, like we said earlier.
I think it's finding the right partners. Because I collaborate with older people out of the state a little bit more than people I do in the state. I mean, my family is a little bit more connected with the older generation. I do segue through that sometimes and just to partner with. But I think it's the right individuals. I think every older person ain't really for every younger person. I think just because the interests don't really align. Even then, it's that has to be a common ground. I think the older generation can just come and present themselves in a way to where it's beneficial for both parties, as well as the young folks, because it's still on the older folks as I become an older folk. I don't know. I'll be like we doing a summer camp at Fresh Start. I think it's June 8th. I think the date is wrong on that. I think it's June 8th through the 13th. But just reaching back and like as you become older, just like do things differently. I think that's somewhere along the line we will bridge that gap. I just think that gap has to be bridged over time, and you make those special connections, because I met some special older people, of course, but it's also through my work that I meet those other people. So I think as a younger individual, sooner or later those older people will come find you, like, because you're gonna make enough noise to where people know you that you don't know them, right? And you lead with that. Like, you connected with older people. Like, it's just, you do the work, the right older people gonna find you.
Yeah, and it come back to doing the work. Just being steadfast in your ways, steadfast in the work that you want to get done. I believe that bridge can be a gap sooner than people think, man. I think it's something that it's gonna take a lot of effort. It'll take a lot of work for it to get done. But just from the conversations I have with my elders every day on a daily basis, like, I work with some elders, and they are beautiful people that are willing to spread their knowledge. It's just that, how do we get the people that's not? Like, it's all good preaching to the choir. You feel me? And I mean that for both young and old. Old and young, excuse me, because we can be realistic. A couple young folks out here that don't want to listen to their elders, and that's just part of life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a couple young people that feel like they do know everything, but how do we? I don't know, man.
We can't. I think we can get as many people that want to listen and want to learn. Because if you want to keep the same results, that's cool. It's only so much you can do when you're trying to help somebody. Like, that person actually has to want their help, right, and actually has to do the work necessary to get a different result. And you can just guide them in that way. But at the end of the day, like, I don't mean to, I'm kind of cynical in a sense on this fact. Like, if you don't want to help yourself, it's only so much I can do before my hand starts to burn from this rope. So if you cause a pain to me, like, my tolerance level may be different from another person's tolerance level, but I can't hold on that long. Right. Because I know the energy it takes to create. The energy it takes to create takes a lot of energy, and I think certain times cutting people loose will actually be beneficial, because you don't want to get in the way of God's lesson. And I've been around so many deaths, and I've seen so much stuff. I think you really don't want to get in the way of God's lesson. Like, you do your part. And you just have to be at peace and continue to do the work, because that one person that slipped through the crack because of their own decisions, because of their own habits they kept making, they're making the wrong and not the wrong, but the most dangerous and detrimental. Yeah, like, because it's self-sabotage. Like, right. I can only help you so long, but if you self-sabotaging yourself, I can't. Like, I'm not responsible for that. Yeah. So, like, even when you're helping people, it's a line that has to be drawn, because you can't help anybody if you start to get dragged down. You have to set that boundary with yourself, and you have to figure out that boundary, and it's always a moving goalpost. So you have to figure out, like, your tolerance levels at different times, because it just is what it is. You have to carry on. Yeah. Like, You can only carry somebody else's weight for so long, like
before you start the book.
It's like even if you get an ankle sprain, it's called a muscle imbalance. Like if you get an ankle sprain, they really tell you to stop playing because you can hurt other things in your leg.
Yeah,
like my bro.
ACL.
You can tear ACL because you're playing with an ankle sprain and you compensating.
Yep.
You compensating. So like now. Yeah, now you got this damage and you trying to do a good thing. I think like even in the Bible, like God let people like, hey, if you want to make that decision, I think the best thing God gave to us was free will. It's your decision. Right. So if you're focusing on these things, even God says don't wander. Like why are you wandering His gift? You squandering His gift. Like He give us talent and like power. Like if you don't take advantage of that power, of course He's gonna take you back.
Yeah, and I did want to say this. I definitely agree with you with that. I feel two ways about free will because I feel like I believe in God is the universe. You feel me? Like everything is God, not just it's a personification of an energy. Everything is God. So I feel like our path is already predetermined. It's just how do we get to the path?
The path is set.
The path is set, you know what I'm saying? And just dealing with these have been a long 2 years since the pandemic started, bro.
That's why I was saying about drifting. You feel me? The path set.
Exactly.
You stepping off that path. So every time you step off that path, God try to get you back on this path.
He show you
if you don't listen, that's not His fault.
Exactly.
If Joseph didn't listen, he'd been dead. If Moses didn't listen, they wouldn't have made it across no sea.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Like it's just how you do it. Like even with Judas, like it's so many stories. He chose that. Yeah. Nobody told him to do that.
Yeah.
He chose that. So if you make these decisions on your own and you think it's all gonna be straight, like you have to live with those decisions. Like no matter what you do,
be confident.
You have to like if you bro. I have a saying from New Future. It's called believe and take steps. Believe and take steps because that's all it really is. Believe you can do it and you just take the steps to do it. Like you really own control so much of your destiny.
Yeah.
Like you just have to deal with the decisions you make. You really only have a few different options and it's how you want to deal with those.
Yeah.
Like
reaction or action. Yep.
Because for real though, like it's only so many options you're given.
Right.
Like so you don't have just one path. Like I mean the path is set, but you have to also choose a path. Like you have to also like submit and surrender. Yeah. So if you're not listening and following like your consciousness and like the Holy Spirit, because that's really what I think the consciousness is another form of the Holy Spirit. Like you have to be in tune and aligned to know your path. So like even when you don't know, I've always been whispered to.
Right.
Like I've always had a moment where like, hey,
you can feel it.
Yeah, like hey, all right, now you need to be doing this.
Yeah.
And then it's been times where I didn't listen and I ended up in stuff. So a lot of the times, like I just try to be still and use discernment, so I can listen. Because if you don't listen, sooner or later that voice is gonna start talking, and then you're gonna end up in the situation and you're gonna be face to face on your judgment.
Yeah. So being confident in yourself, you know what I'm saying? I definitely agree that you have to, if you really gonna step on the path and you really gonna go in the direction you feel like you're gonna go, you have to be confident in your steps. And I learned that a long time ago through some hard lessons. Just like he said, trusting your gut. I feel like that energy is there for a reason. You have those feelings. You feel when something wrong. You feel when something is like that for a reason. So just be trusting in yourself. Understand that God, whether you call him God, Allah, the universe, whatever.
Somebody speaking to you.
Yeah, somebody speaking to you, and that energy is there. So follow it. You feel me? I really feel like that's a big aspect in our day and age that's like forgotten.
What, the faith of it?
Just being in tune with yourself, like being in tune with your ancestors.
That's faith.
Being in tune. Yeah,
that's faith. That's faith. Like it's in you. It's in you. Like you just gotta respect it, cause like how you respect it is really just doing the work and just actually, like, cause sometimes I do feel like I'm more in touch with my ancestors, cause I never met my grandma, but it's a picture of my grandma in my mama's house, and I was working out the other day, and I just looked at her and I was like, damn, she look happy. She look, cause I was like, all right, I'm making, like, you gotta, somebody along the way. I think sometimes doing the work is being respectful to the people that believed in you.
And I was just finished.
It's really being respectful to the people that believed in you and that invested in you. Like, because people somewhere along the line, they helped you out.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the line, somebody put you on. Somebody did something for you that helped you lead the way. And you got to think about it, like, who is this? Like, was this an agent of God? Like, sometimes I'd be like, bro, it ain't me. I'm just being a vessel. I'm being a vessel. Like,
for their energy.
I'm being a vessel. Like, sometimes I feel certain ways that I gotta do this. So you just gotta listen and use your discernment, because shit is in you. Like, it's in you. It's in you for real.
And it's facts though. They say that God made us after after their image. I don't like saying his, she, but God made us after their image. You know what I'm saying? And people tend to forget that, and they might be in a literal sense, like God might look like a human, but they also mean that God is a piece of you. God is in everybody, you know what I'm saying? So being in tune with your inner self, your inner being is important. There's things that we really have to focus on. A lot of people don't really know who they are. And so when confronted with it, it scares them. You know what I'm saying? It scares some people to really be able to confront themselves and really talk to themselves.
You meditate?
Yes, of course. I mean, I feel like everybody should meditate. And meditation ain't sitting cross-legged with your arms up like this.
I mean, sometimes that meditation do feel, that's a deeper meditation, but like,
meditation could be breathing. Like sitting there looking at the clock, you know what I'm saying? And let your mind not wander, but like let your mind be clear for 30 seconds, for a minute. You know sometimes people don't have time to meditate.
You know what I tell people at the shop? I'm like, you know, just while you smoking, just breathe. Like, cause I think another reason why people like go to smoking so much is just because it's another form of breath work. Breath work is a superpower. Breath work is just something that keeps you grounded. It makes you make better decision making. It grounds your emotional imbalance. It calms your nerves and your brain. So when you're doing all these things, you can better deal with decisions. Like, sometimes I just have to be still. Sometimes I have to process things, and it's okay to like go process things, just to go sit on stuff, because your first reaction might not be the best action for your life. And I try to think about the long term in the best sense. Like, is this move, if I make this move over and over and over, where would I be in a year? Because a lot of the things that work are little things. I've been in business, and a lot, like, people complicate it. A lot of it is a few forms. A lot of business is literally a few forms. You sign your name and it's your ID, and that's it. Yeah,
your social stuff.
If you put in your social and you still using businesses, you are doing business wrong. You need an EIN. Like, don't ever put your social on. Like if you doing business, you ain't got no EIN. You asking for a high tax bill. And it is what it is. You gotta stay informed. And just do what you have to do, because all of it is simple. It's just the mind part of it. Like, cause I'm like, people ask me, how did you do this? How did you do this? And I'm like, I just did it. And like, cause I used to I put myself on time limits. Like I said, I got a new challenge for this month. Like, this is what you need to be trying to do. Like, even if it's out of reach, I used to write on my planners and books for so long. Like, all right, you're gonna make $100K this year. Like you're gonna make $100K this year. You're gonna make $100K, because I've never made $100K in a year.
And there's manifestation though.
Like, you're gonna make $100K. Like, no, I'm like $100K in 6 months, $100K in 12 months. This is in my planner. Like, even if I fall short of this goal, I'll make something more than every year I go up.
Right. And so I'm saying, you manifest it by writing it out.
Every year I go up. Like, have you a planner, write out what you want. Like, there's nothing wrong with like putting that on paper, because I know even like as the younger folks, we got our phone, we can do this, but put it on paper. I got so many dry erase boards, so many poster boards where I write my goals out. Like, just write it out. And
I ain't want to cut you off, but that's really important for, like, if you got a goal, you want to see it, literally
write it,
put it down. You want to get to your goal, see it, put it up somewhere, put it above your door.
That's the first.
Like, when I used to box, I used to box. And my biggest thing, I wanted the golden gloves so bad. I wanted the golden gloves and then go fight for the Olympics. That was my biggest goal, right? So every morning before I go train, I got a big old poster above my wall, say you gonna be a Golden Gloves Mississippi this year, and I didn't get to it, but I got a lot better within a short time period.
Just for aiming high.
Just for aiming high. You know what I'm saying? It's okay if you don't always get there when you want to, as long as you keep fighting for that goal.
Sometimes it might not be your path to get to that goal. Like sometimes, like you write that goal down, and it can be a segue to what you really supposed to do.
Right.
Like so, I didn't have no intention of moving back. Like I moved away with not moving back in my mind. So when I came back to vote, I literally came back to vote. Like, and I saw Mississippi had the weed on the medical marijuana on the thing. I was like, yeah, I'm definitely gotta go for I ain't switching to Texas. I came back and vote. I surprised my mom. She didn't even know I was coming.
Yeah.
Like, just you definitely gotta aim. When you aim high enough to where it's aligned with your abilities, and it's gonna push you. If you're not writing a goal down to where it's not gonna push you and it's not just slightly above your, like where you feel is your bar, you're not really aiming right, because you also discount what God can do for you, because you never know, because like one move can be like, all right, yeah, you can struggle for a week, and then one move, hey, we back in it. So just stay hunting, stay aggressive, and stay patient. Like when people, you can do the work and be patient. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, because if you're doing the right work, you gotta trust the work to do, because the results sometimes might come 6 to 8 weeks later. Like it's just what what it is. You gotta give you just gotta give it time to like develop, and then everybody not on the same clock as you. You on your different time. You on a different time. You on a different life. Everybody's on their own universe.
Frequency.
Everybody's on their own universe. Like
you can only perceive that shit how you see it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else is gonna see the world how you see it. So there's no point of going by other people's time. And I did wanna ask you something similar to that. But like, what is your perspective on Jackson? And like, what do you want to say to the city itself? And then what would you tell the world about the city if you could tell them each one thing?
Hold on, what was the first one?
What do you want to tell to the city of Jackson? What's your mission to the city personally, and what you feel like for the city? Like whatever you want to tell.
Oh, it's summertime too. I got a mission for real. You know what, this summer I just would like everybody in Jackson, enjoy the summer. Take this time to love on your family, take this time to appreciate them, show love to people, and try to stay out of it. Like it's nothing wrong with walking away. Because I've lost friends in Jackson. I've lost a lot of friends. I've seen my friends on Facebook, RIP. I go to sleep early and I wake up to RIP posts with my friends and classmates. Like, and I'm only 25. I've lost over 16 friends. So, like, that's a lot of, and I don't go to funerals. I don't like the ritual. So, Jackson, I want y'all to like be a blessing to somebody. Like keep doing that, and I think if everybody's being a blessing to somebody, every single person, I think we can get a more beneficial and a more positive result. What I think Jackson should do, I think the older folks should give the young folks some money.
Facts.
like for real, like actually invest into the youth. So we can actually grow, because I think when you're in a this is a barren wasteland. I've been in other cities. This is a barren wasteland. Like the food, it's a food desert. It's so much bad and unhealthy food. Like I don't know why we don't grow our own food like that. Like I just want us to eat more healthier. I want us to like be more healthier, be more emotionally healthier. I think some of the foods that we eat are affecting our brain. But hey, man, go get a smoothie. Like if you don't want to go get a smoothie. What else was the third thing?
What was my question? What was some food? Because we can go back to talk about food.
What was the third thing?
Wait, what would you tell Jackson? Not Jackson. What would you tell the world about Jackson? If you had one sentence, one phrase to tell about the city of Jackson.
The narrative only tells half the story. That's the one thing I tell the world. The narrative only tells not even half the story. The narrative tells the negative part of the story. It doesn't tell the highlights. It doesn't tell the people that are making it. It doesn't tell the people that are helping these homeless people. It doesn't tell the people that are doing community work.
And so that's most definitely our pleasure being with you, bro. We finna let our sponsors have a quick notice, but thank you, Mr. Sims. Appreciate you, man.
No problem.
Hey, feel I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I told him I'm a flick up. Feel I'm in the mood for a change.